Okay. Hello, Laura. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, everybody, this is Laura, and I wanted to introduce her. She owns the Organized Collective, and she's also a organizer, professional organizer herself. So, Laura, why don't you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do and what you offer?
Yeah, so at the Organized Inc., we have a full range of services, really. And of course, we're professional organizers mainly. That's my main focus is professional organizing in the home. But we also offer coaching that we do virtually to help people feel more organized in their space and work through their space themselves. And in the Ottawa area, we do full-on interior design, home staging, move coordination, and organizing for all those different aspects of your home, of course.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Actually, the part of the reason why I connected with Laura is I took one of her courses, which was phenomenal. It had so much more content than I really expected. I thought I was signing up on, a way to declutter my home, right? But it ended up being so much more than that. It was phenomenal. The content for it, the delivery was excellent. So congratulations on that. I'm sure that it's a very popular aspect to what you offer.
Yeah, it was really popular, especially during the pandemic with people being shut down at home. It was great to be able to offer some virtual offerings to help people, feel more balanced in their space when they're doing everything from home. You're not just living at home anymore. It's not just the place you're coming home to after work. You're working from home. You might have kids doing school from home. Maybe you're sharing your workspace with your partner. So, those are all the elements I'm dealing with in my home. And so I just kind of took that and tried to make something positive out of the situation and help people when I couldn't actually physically go into their homes to do so, right?
That's a really good point because I think with COVID, things have changed so much. And I know just in some of the other business owners that I've been talking to, some people have found like there's all this new, new purpose in their business when you're working from home, right? Because you're having to reestablish boundaries that, and I know we touched on that in the course, like boundaries about where your space is and how do you feel in that space and how can you be productive, because I don't know about you, but I'm finding I'm working way more now that I'm at home more often. And because of that, that was the one that we tackled the first, was the workspace, right? And it was very calming to find a new feeling in that space that normally I barely use. So that's really exciting. That's a good opportunity for people to relook at what they're using their space for inside this new normal, I guess, right?
Absolutely. You touched on it completely. And like you said, we're working more than ever because we don't have those boundaries around work anymore. We're not leaving the office at 5 o'clock and then getting home and, zoning in family time. It all kind of crosses over when we're juggling family with work and then work with family. So like you said, having those boundaries is really important. And also just adjusting our expectations as well, right? Because we have to realize that we can't be everything 100% of the time when we're dealing with totally unprecedented circumstances, and life has changed. So we have to adapt and kind of change with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. We have to change. Yep. So just to get a little bit of history on your business. So how long have you been in business, Laura?
Yeah, so the Organized Inc. launched in July of 2020. Call me a little bit crazy, but I'm one of those people who decided to, launch a business mid-pandemic. That being said, I was working on my own in my sole proprietorship as a professional organizer for about a year and a half before that. So it was all already in the works, and then COVID hit, and of course, it was too late to hit stop, but also it felt right to keep going. So we did keep going. And I'm so glad that we did, because we're about 7 months in now and business is going great. People are responding really well to the services that we offer. And I can't imagine doing anything else right now. So
yeah, that's great. That's exciting. And we were talking about this a little bit before, but I've noticed too, around this time of year, people are doing a lot of, spring cleaning and really like, I'm sure there's other people like me out there, but I feel I get very overwhelmed when I look at all of the different spots that need attention. Obviously, you've helped with that considerably, but I feel that spring tends to be that way, right? Because you want to purge the stuff and you want to get outside more often, but yeah, there's always that necessity to clean during spring and reorganize your space. And I think it's just such a popular thing right now that people are focusing on. I mean, obviously they're at home more, so there's that, but it's just, yeah, naturally, I think your body just, and your spirit just wants to like purge things, right?
Absolutely. As life starts to return outside, we want to bring new life to our space inside as well. And it's just kind of this natural progression of things, but it inspires us for sure to make those changes throughout our home. So we're seeing a lot of bookings for spring cleaning related projects like garage cleanings, where we come in with our team and just do it all for you, which is, you know, takes a huge stress off people. Yeah. But also the type of one-on-one work we do is to really tailor our services to each family's needs. So I find people get really overwhelmed when they think of, you know, all that has to be done in their whole home. So what we try to do is make a plan for them and break it down and show them that there's kind of going to be different phases, but after X amount of time, they're going to reach their goals. And once they can see, you know, how to move from one space to another and not get caught up in those little things, then they're able to kind of open their minds to all the possibilities and really get excited about the process.
Yes. And it's funny how much, I'm sure you've seen this 1,000 times, but it's funny how much momentum you build once you start doing it, right? Like it's literally like just start, because as soon as I was, you know, beginning to do it, the next thing I know, my kids are starting to be more neat and tidy. And then, you know, that things are just naturally evolving once you kind of set that intention and you begin, right? But initially it can be very overwhelming. I mean, the garage, when you mentioned the garage, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an area I hadn't even considered.
Kind of like that area we don't have to see every day, especially in the wintertime sometimes. But
yeah,
you're right. It's like, it can be absolutely overwhelming, but when we have the right support and when we have the right plan, you can really accomplish your goals so much faster. And I think having that right support is so important too, because like you said, you can build up that momentum as soon as you start. Yeah. But then if a block comes up in the way or anything derails you from the progress, what can happen is you find yourself halfway through a project and maybe you're in more of a mess than you were when you started, because you've pulled everything out of your closets and now you're like, okay, what do I do? So if you ever find that yourself in that situation, give us a call and we'll come in and help keep you going, because yeah, it's like, it's great to do as much as you can on your own, but when you know those blocks hit, and we're there to help and keep that progress going and make sure that you're maintaining your timelines and your goals.
That's a really good point. I hadn't even thought to consider that, because I know I'm not the only one, but you get busy, right? And so I have the best of intentions and I start, and literally I wouldn't have even thought to call somebody in mid-project because I couldn't finish it. I would probably have thought, you know, I can't have them in until I'm done and then starting a new one. It just wouldn't even occur to me. So that's a really valid point and super helpful, I think, for people in this stage in life, right?
Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that, because so many of our new clients, when we talk to them, are like, well, yeah, I want to have you in, but first I have to, you know, get rid of all this stuff and do all this. And it's like, no, you don't have to do anything first. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you reach that. And the more people think that they have to do X, Y, and Z before they can get help, you know, the more likely they are to never get that help that they really need. 100%. They have to do all these things first, but no, we can come in and we can, you know, get you to those points. So that.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That's so good. That's great information. Thank you for sharing that.
It's my pleasure.
So let's just kind of shift the conversation to you a little bit, because you're the CEO of your company. So I'm curious, like, what do you do in your spare time?
There's not a whole lot of it these days, working from home with, I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and my 4-year-old is doing virtual school online. Wow. I'm really grateful that I have my husband working from home too. So we're kind of, you know, balancing those duties. But in the spare time that we do have, of course, like spending our time with our family, friends, that's what we really miss, especially from before the pandemic. I would say like the thing I miss most is having people over to my house and like having dinner with family and friends, because we just love to kind of share meals with the people we love. And I think that's kind of how we spend most of our time. Yeah. In the summertime, we love to, if we have a weekend off, to go to the cottage with my family and things like that to just relax and unwind. So we're looking forward to more of that with the warmer weather coming for sure.
Yes, thank goodness. That's awesome. So what areas do you serve specifically, Laura? Like, I know you're based out of the west end of Ottawa, correct?
Yeah, it's funny. I live in the West End. We have tons of clients in the East End. We serve all of Ottawa and the Ottawa Valley, all the way to, you know, Chrysler, Castleman area.
Wow.
And, you know, we've even done the occasional project in Toronto and Montreal. So if you're in a rural area, like absolutely don't hesitate to get in touch with us, because we're more than willing to put in some kilometers to travel for projects.
That's wonderful. That's good to know. So what is something that you think people do not know about the Organized Inc?
Probably that we're actually a lot more than just professional organizing. We do full-on interior design work to help people, you know, reach all their home goals. Often that includes some organizing as well, but we also work with contractors and designers to help, you know, the organizing process that happens before construction and renovation work can occur. We do home staging and work with realtors to help their clients through every stage of the moving process, from, you know, organizing and decluttering their items and staging their home, to actually packing and coordinating their move, and then unpacking and setting up their new home on the other side. So that's become a really popular service, especially, you know, as you know, the real estate market is just going crazy these days. So lots of people moving, and when you're moving with a family, it can be a huge stress. And, you know, movers can do the job to get your stuff from point A to point B, but what is the stressful part is actually figuring out how to pack it all, and then how to set up the new home. You don't want to like move into a new home and it to take months and months and months until everything's unpacked and you're feeling settled. So we actually come in and we do that for you. And in a matter of a day or two, your home is like completely set up. You have art hanging on the walls, you know, your kitchen is organized, like we do it all. So it really takes a huge weight off of people's shoulders when they're moving, especially when, you know, the situations can be tense with either family or, you know, whatever can occur in a move. So.
Wow. I didn't even know that you did that. That's fantastic. What a great idea.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's really fun to be able to, you know, see the whole things come together. And we help our clients. We do walkthroughs of their new homes in advance and measure out drawers and cabinets so that we can get those systems in place right from day one. And they're, you know, full at home.
Good for you.
They walk in the door that first day.
Wouldn't that be nice? Like, yeah. Oh, I would love that.
Right?
That's great. Okay. So what would you say that your clients love the most about your company?
I think that they like that we don't have one approach that applies to every person. We know that every family has, you know, different quirks, different strengths, and different issues and problems. So we come in with no judgment, talk to our clients to figure out what they really need, and then we design systems that will work for their space and for their lifestyle. Because, you know, like one family with young kids might need, you know, a different level of organization than perhaps an older couple whose children have moved out and really love things really detailed. So we're trying to find that, you know, perfect balance so that you feel your space is really organized, but it's not a headache to maintain.
Yeah. And, you know, I love when you said about the different approach to everybody, because I think, I mean, when you're working with people, that's an important point to consider, because everybody is very different. And then when you also added no judgment, I think that's very crucial, because I know me personally, like that would be very difficult to have, you know, because when you're in chaos, which so many people go through different stages in their life, and it can be very chaotic, but your space is reflective of that sometimes. And then you're having to be very vulnerable to have somebody come in and say like, okay, help me. Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I know me as a woman, I always feel that pressure to do it all myself. And like, okay, if the home doesn't look good, I mean, I know it's not actually just on me, but it feels that way sometimes. And so it feels like a direct reflection of potentially your failures. Right. And so the fact that you say no judgment when you come in, I love that, because it's so crucial to getting to that next step where people let go of that expectation of what they should have done. Right.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And it's so funny that you say that, because your words are like exactly why I started my business and became a professional organizer. Like I have two kids that are less than 2 years apart. And when my daughter was born and I, you know, was still a professional had 2 kids at home with me, and life just felt crazy. And I was always someone who was very design oriented. I always loved my home to, look nice, but I just felt like it was so hard to stay on top of everything. And, I started to not feel like I wanted to have people over, because if I was having people over, my house would need to look perfect. And, it took me a while to work through those mindset gaps that was like, okay, there needs to be a happy balance here, because, feeling like the house needs to look perfect 100% of the time was also contributing to my own kind of unhappiness and stress, because I just couldn't be happy unless it looked that way. So I needed to find that happy medium for us. And then when I did that, I wanted to help other people be able to do it as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. That's great. Sounds like you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. That's great.
Feels that way.
Yeah. Good for you. And so what would you say your biggest challenge is right now with your company?
I think part of it has been growth, and just marketing our services probably, and making sure people know about all the different things we do. Over the first 6 months or so of the business, I was working entirely on my own as, the organizer, designer, but also the marketer, the customer service, and all of the behind the scenes work. And so of course that was challenging, but now I've been able to we've hired 4 people over the last month to join our organizing team. And I've also been able to hire someone to help me out with my social media and kind of administrative work. And so that has really helped me to open up more time to be able to serve more clients.
That's wonderful. I love it. Yeah, because you're the face of the business, right? So it's good to have you out there doing what you're good at. And it's really interesting, because we found that you go through that stage, right, in your company, and you realize, like, now that I have help, I'm able to do what I do best.
Exactly.
And before that, you're just spinning your wheels, right? Because there's so many things that I'm just not good at. And the other people on my team are phenomenal. So it's such a group effort, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. And so what would you feel like your goals are for your company?
Definitely to continue growing. So we've been here for 9 months or so now. So we're excited for the summer and to celebrate our 1-year anniversary and see where we're at. But we hope to bring on more and more clients over the next year, do more design work and more long-term organizing projects. I think that people think that we work with clients on a kind of one-off basis, but actually we have clients that we see regularly, and they almost become part of our family. So if we develop that relationship with them, we're in their homes pretty regularly. So I'd love to see more of that.
That's wonderful. Good. And so is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share?
I don't think so. I mean, we're working in a few different areas. We love to set up partnerships with realtors like you, where, we've got our list of great realtors, you included, where we get clients who are asking us about home staging. If they're not working with a realtor, we always, encourage them to do so. And vice versa. We've got lots of real estate agents and other, professionals in the industry where there's overlap, that we develop those partnerships to help work together and support our clients to reach their goals.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So if people were to connect with you on social media and online, where's the best place for them to do it? We'll post all of this obviously as well, but are you on Instagram? And
we're on Instagram at theorganized.ca, and we're on Facebook, theorganized.ca as well, facebook.com/theorganized.ca, and online, of course, www.theorganized.ca. You can find all the information you need on all our different services. And we also have an online store. So on our website, you can find, all our products that we sell online.
So you sell products too. So tell me, sorry, I had no idea. Tell me some more about what you sell.
So it's sort of a different branch, and that was a part of our pandemic project as well, was when, all the shops were closed down and people couldn't go in to get those things they needed to organize their space, but that was on the top of their mind. We launched our online store, and it features a lot of the products that we use in our clients' homes. So if I'm organizing a space, I am often bringing in storage bins and drawer organizers, or boxes and bins for the closets and stuff. So we've got all of that stuff available online, and then our clients who we use the items for actually get a discount on all those products we use as well.
That's great. What a great idea. Wow. Yeah, because that would be something that I would be like, oh, where do I go to get this stuff? That's perfect.
Yeah, it just makes our job easier. It makes the process a lot easier for our clients. Like, we come with everything we need to organize your space. So whether that's from our shop or other shops, like often we're making trips to IKEA or, Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever before showing up as a project, so that when we show up, we're able to do exactly what we need to do.
That's wonderful. Good. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're very busy, and I'm excited to work together and recommend you to clients. And if anybody needs some more information, feel free to reach out to Laura. I'm sure she's happy to connect with you, and we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It was so great to chat with you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, bye.